This week on Country Music Junkies, we have a new artist to introduce you to. I'm so pleased to be joined by Leslie Cours Mather. Leslie, thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Well, we're really pumped about your third single, That Was the Whiskey. Let's start there. Talk a little bit about the song and what makes it so special.
Okay, yeah. Well, this song came to me actually from my producer. He found it through his publishing connections, and it came the day before we were heading to Nashville to record our EP, and I just fell in love with it because the story was so captivating and so relatable. It's about a girl who normally doesn't go out and drink much, but she went out last night and had a great time with her girlfriends, and then the next morning she thinks everything's fine, but she keeps getting phone calls and texts and posts on Facebook that of all these pictures of things that she did. She was dancing on tables, and she was just making a fool of herself, and she doesn't remember any of it. And so throughout the song, she just kept saying, "That's not me, that was the whiskey," and it's just this cute, very relatable song. I think people have been able to kind of go, "Oh yeah, I've been there, done that,"
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all say we've had one of those weekends, one of those nights before. That's great. It's a really fun song. For fans who haven't heard it, how would you describe the vibe of it?
It's definitely country rock. And it's got a driving beat, which is one of the things I loved about it. It's just really high energy throughout the song, and it's got that old kind of rock and roll guitar flavor to it, and really fun, almost retro, but still country.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the upcoming EP called Countryfied. I know it's not, the release date has not been released yet, but what can fans expect from it?
Yeah, so what happened was we went into the studio and we ended up getting so into what we were doing that we came out with like 19 songs.
Oh my goodness.
And it was really great. And so our problem was, what do we do? Do we release a big CD, 2 CDs, some EPs? And so it's really been just kind of trying to figure out how we want to handle all those songs. So what we're going to do is release a 6-pack EP coming out probably in the next month. And it's going to contain the 3 singles that I've had out plus 3 more songs. So That Was the Whiskey's on there, and then my first 2 singles, Countryfied and Hell Hath No Fury, are on there. And then we'll release a second EP a little bit farther down, and then a Christmas EP. So we'll just kind of be able to keep things coming out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds very exciting. We'll be sure to be on the lookout for that. Now, let's chat a little bit about your career thus far and kind of the backstory to you as an artist. When did you decide to make country music a career?
Well, I think it's always been who I am. I've definitely dipped into lots of different types of music because I just came from sort of an eclectic background. Country is my roots. My dad was from Houston, and my mom actually is from Wisconsin, but they were all dairy farmers, and so country music was really it for our family. And then when I moved to Nashville, I just felt like this was my home. Country music does feel like my home, but at the same time, I've been exposed to everything from opera to, big band music and old time music. I'm just like a music junkie, and I love anything that inspires me. So I think that's what reflects in my music. It's got this country through line, and that's my roots, and yet I'm not afraid to kind of explore other styles and bring those flavors into my music.
Amazing. That is really cool. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your upcoming booth at the CMA Fest, Fanfare X. A bunch of fans head down to Nashville, regardless of where they're from, they head down to Nashville for the CMA Fan Fest weekend in June, and you're going to be there. So tell us a little bit about what fans can expect from you that weekend.
Yeah, FanFest is, it used to be Fanfare, now it's FanFest at the booth, and then it's CMA Fest, so whatever you call it, it's like the best week of country music ever, and it's always very hot, but it's like everybody's in it together, and so I definitely will be performing, and then I'll be signing pictures and things at the booth, and really just interacting with people that a lot of people I've met on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and it'll just be fun to have FaceTime with some of those people and perform and just be in there hot and sweaty all together.
That sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much for telling us a little bit about that and about your music. Now, Leslie, if fans want to connect with you online and check out your music and connect with you directly, how can they do that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. You can start with my website, which is my name, LeslieCoursMather.com, and then of course I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I love to hear from people, so I will respond and interact, and that way you can find out when the EP is coming out specifically and where I'll be exactly at CMA Fest.
Perfect. That sounds great. We'll include a link to your website with the posting of this interview, so no problem there. Leslie, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure, and we wish you best of luck with the upcoming EP, and we'll hopefully see you in Nashville for CMA Fest.
That sounds great. I'll see you there. Thank you so much.